faking your demise so that you can abandon your wife and 3 kids in order to go overseas to be with a foreign woman who winds up flipping you. These simps are just sad. Just sad. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. A Wisconsin man faked his own death so he could abandon his family so he could be with a woman in Russia.
A Watertown man accused of faking his own death, leaving the country, is now back in Wisconsin behind bars. Let's get straight to Mike Biermeister, who is live in Watertown with more. Mike.
Yeah, Shannon, online records show 45-year-old Ryan Borgwart is in custody in the Green Lake County Jail. He was booked just before 5 p.m. today. This comes after nearly 4 months of looking for this Watertown man and really unsure of where he was. An international search for Ryan Borgwart coming to a close. As online records show, he's now in custody at Green Lake County Jail. Borgwart was first reported missing in August after not returning from a kayaking trip to Green Lake. An extensive search of the area followed for months. Then the case took a dramatic twist on November 8th, when authorities said they believed he faked his own death and fled to Europe.
We do not know that, where he is. We know that he's not in our lake.
Then on November 21st.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwart.
The first time we saw Ryan Borgwart alive through a video shared by the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office.
I'm in my apartment. I am safe, secure, no problem. Hope this works.
Sheriff Mark Podol also unveiling Borgwart's escape plan at that press conference. The 45-year-old telling them he overturned his kayak in the lake and paddled a child-size inflatable boat to shore. The sheriff said Borgwart then rode an e-bike through the night to Madison, caught a bus to Detroit and then Canada, where he boarded a flight.
He did research, he did, and he thought his plan was gonna pan out, but it didn't go the way he had planned.
Sheriff Podol also told reporters his team had been in contact with Borgwart almost daily ever since November 11th, pleading with him to come home.
Christmas is coming. And what better gift he could give his kids as to be there for Christmas with him.
And the sheriff has said that Borgwart could face an obstruction charge. They're also considering pursuing restitution up to $35,000 to $40,000 for the search efforts to try and find Borgwart. I did reach out to his wife. She declined to comment tonight. We are planning to learn more tomorrow at a press conference hosted by the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office. Live in Watertown, Mike Biermeister, TMJ4 News.
Mike, thanks for that update. Again, tomorrow morning's news conference is scheduled for 10 a.m. and you can watch it streaming live on our TMJ4 News Facebook page or on the free TMJ4 News app.
Now, according to reports, 45-year-old Ryan Borgwart, a married father of 3, decided to allegedly fake his own death during a kayaking trip he took in Wisconsin. And as he was taking this kayaking trip, Ryan Borgwart allegedly overturned his kayak, and after overturning his kayak to make it look like he had drowned, Ryan Borgwart allegedly got on a child's inflatable raft, paddled back to the land, and after paddling back to land, got on an electric bike that basically took him to a bus station, and after going to that bus station, took a bus to Detroit, and then after taking that bus to Detroit, got across the border to Canada, and as he got across the border to Canada with just his passport, Canadian authorities thought it was suspect but still let him into the country, and after getting into Canada, this is where he got on a plane to Europe, and as he got on this plane to Europe, it took him to Paris, and after going to Paris, he then went to the nation of Georgia, hoping to hook up with a woman from Uzbekistan, and hoping that he could be able to have this relationship with this woman in Uzbekistan and possibly start a brand new life with this Uzbekistani woman. Now, as Ryan Borgwart was out here making these plans to start a new life with this Uzbekistan woman, this is where he thought he was going to be in the clear, but authorities here in America were looking for Ryan Borgwart as related to finding out what happened as related to his disappearance. And as those authorities here in America were doing their investigation, eventually they wound up getting an email from a Russian woman. And as they got this email from this Russian woman, who reached out to the Green Lake County Sheriff's deputies, she basically told them where Ryan Borgwart was, and this basically thwarted all of his plans because Ryan Borgwart was in Georgia, a nation that has extradition treaties with the U.S., and this is where Ryan Borgwart's whole plan to fake his own death led to him having to reveal that he was still alive, and which is what he did in a video before he wound up leaving the country of Georgia and coming back to the United States, where he was arrested for obstruction and arrested for obstruction as related to this case. And it's also being in a case where they are looking to get restitution for the $40,000 that the county wound up spending as related to the investigation of his disappearance. And after being arrested, he only had $20 in his pocket as he was looking to get out on $500 bail, and is slated to wind up in court on January 13th as related to the charges he was arrested for obstruction. Now, the police here in America see the alleged actions of Ryan Borgwart as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of Ryan Borgwart's alleged actions, they definitely fit the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and also fit the pattern and profile of simps and cyber simps that I talk about in my books, Stop Simping in Cyberspace and Stop Simping Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And it's clear to me that Ryan Borgwart, this father of three, definitely is one of these simps who eventually wound up becoming a man in crisis because he didn't want to go out here and take the responsibility for his family. No, what he wanted to do was go out here and escape as he got online. And as he got online, he basically entered into a rose-colored reality and a secret world where he was getting involved and chatting up one of these women, possibly on one of these online dating sites. And as he was on this online dating site, he was possibly looking to pursue a relationship with this Russian woman, not understanding that when it comes to people who do go online looking for love, many of those people are looking for love because they can't find it in their own country, because many of these people are basically predators and they're looking to prey on naive and gullible men who don't really understand how life works, because any man who understands how life works basically understands if somebody is online, that's a desperate person. And sadly, what I believe was Ryan Borgwart himself was desperate to get out from under the responsibilities of taking care of his wife and 3 children, and thought it would be easier to go out here and get a little something on the side in a foreign country, and that would enable him to keep his world smooth. Unfortunately, he wound up making his world a lot rougher as related to his intricate and insidious plan to walk away from his family. Now, Ryan Borgwart went to extreme lengths to go and walk away from his family, and he did this because what he wanted to be was continue to be the good guy in his own mind, because with many of these beta male simps, they want to be the good guy in the story that they have imagined, and he thought it would be a noble thing to go out here and fake his own death so that he could go out here and be with the woman of his dreams that he saw online in that rose-colored idea that he had. He thought if he faked his own death, what would happen is that he could go out here and be with the woman of his dreams, and his family could possibly go on with the insurance money, and everything would be perfectly fine. unfortunately, what happened with Ryan Borgward is that he didn't understand that this was just a fantasy he was trying to execute, but the whole thing is that fantasy wasn't real life. No, in real life, what he was doing basically was completely unethical, because what he was doing was looking to participate in adultery, and even worse, looked to abandon his family for this foreign woman, looked to abandon his family for this foreign woman, and what he wanted to do was put a veneer of goodness on it, on his bad actions, but there was no putting a veneer of good on his actions, because he was willfully and intentionally looking to go out here and cheat on his wife, looking to willfully and intentionally look to cheat on his wife, and wanted a justification to do this. Unfortunately, what happened as he made his plans, everything wound up falling apart, and wound up basically falling apart because the woman he was looking to get with basically wound up flipping him over. And as she wound up flipping him over, this is where this simp wound up completely embarrassed because he had a grand and elaborate plan to go be with this woman, but this woman really didn't want to be with him. No, what she wanted to do was go out here and possibly look to go out here and get a couple of stacks of cash out of this dude, who had basically wanted to, again, abandon his entire life to be with her. And that's really sad. This guy basically, again, threw away his whole life and basically threw away his intangibles of manhood. He sacrificed his dignity and self-worth all over a woman who really didn't want him, really just was making up stories just to get some cash out of him, and basically abandoned his entire family, and again lost his dignity and self-respect. And even worse, he even wound up losing his freedom, and losing his freedom all over a woman, and was still left at the end of the day with an ashy dick and extra dry balls. That's what happened to this dude. He basically thought he was going to go and get himself some hot Russian draws, and sadly, he's the one sitting there with an ashy dick at the end of the day. I mean, that's the sad story of this simp. This simp basically, again, looked to travel all across the world to be with the fantasy he had imagined about a woman, and wound up with absolutely nothing at the end of the day but an arrest on his record, and having to pay $40,000 possibly in restitution, and will possibly winding up doing 9 months in jail, where he will be meeting up with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, and will possibly have some encounters in Cell Block D, where he's basically trading Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, off-brand orange drink, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand apple juice, on snack pack puddings, off-brand vanilla cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand chocolate chip cookies, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snacks, off-brand vanilla sugar wafers, prison chips, hot and sour pickles, packets of mayonnaise, packets of cheese, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, hot and sour pickles, and all of those items of the commissary. And instead of him getting booty from the Russian woman, he will be giving up booty to Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles inside of the county jail. And after they wind up giving him a nice spit roast, what will happen is Mr. Sprinkles will come in, spray the special sauce on the front side and the back side, call all the guys from Cell Block D to check out his handiwork as he splits the cheeks open and shows dude's backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. And this is where dude will go from realizing that, maybe you should stay away from online dating and stop looking to simp with women online, and take care of your business with your own family. That's the hard lesson this dude will learn after going out here and looking to fake his own death to be with a woman who really showed no respect for dude as related to making her his new woman, because she basically wound up flipping dude. And again, she flipped dude as related to things and flipped his whole scheme over And this is what happens to guys who will go out here and are cyber simps. The cyber simp basically winds up messing up his game as related to things. He winds up messing up everything because he has a good life, an abundant life that God has given him, but he doesn't appreciate that life. And because he doesn't appreciate that life, what he does is look to end that life to go to a better life in this world. But sadly, he makes his life just that much worse, because now dude is dealing again with not only an arrest record and a court date, but also has a court date in divorce court, where this woman is now basically going to clean him out and like a X-Lax laxative and have his wallet feeling 20 pounds lighter, and all the money he had saved up to go overseas basically is going over to her. So dude made his life just that much harder, all because he got online, got his head gassed by this woman, got gassed similar to what I saw with a guy who was from the military, another simp who basically threw away his military career, all because he wanted to get some Russian draws, and the only thing he was left at the end of the day was an ashy dick and extra dry balls. And the same thing happened here to this dude. Same thing happened here to this dude right now. Dude messed up his entire life, and this can happen to guys who, again, are not taught male life skills and male survival skills, and learn that to take women online with a grain of salt, because no woman online is worth throwing away your intangibles of manhood, like your dignity, your self-respect, and your self-worth, nor are they worth sacrificing your freedom for. No, these women, you just leave them. If they're looking to cheat with you, they are going to cheat on you. And this woman who was looking to cheat with him wound up looking to cheat him out of his freedom. So dude didn't understand what was going on with things as related to life, and he went from going out here to faking his own death as related to the great life that he had, to making his life just that much more miserable. And that's sadly par for the course when it comes to a simp. Simps basically, again, only think in the short term, and since they only think in the short term, they never think about the long-term consequences of their actions or what it's going to cost them in the future. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid winding up in situations like this guy, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and learn how to identify all of these online female predators, like those who run on online dating sites or other online platforms, and learn how to identify these predators so that they won't take advantage of you. And you can find that book along with my other books which teach you how to identify female predators, such as Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, and The Man Crisis, where you can learn to identify dysfunctional beta male behavior. You can find all three of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Grab the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about simps and breaking out of the simp paradigm, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Vampires Stalk the Darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.